work for 2 months, put £10,000 in my bank, and see family and friends, I can really exploit that situation. I intend to. Okay. No, you can't have coffee. You can't have coffee. Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Ah! Oi! What have I told you about that? What have I told you about that? Listen, you don't do that. Excuse me? No, you don't do that. Yeah, remember that. You don't do it. What you doing? Just gonna have a little sit in my office chair. It's still early enough. It's not raging hot. Oh, hello. Hello, my darling. You okay? Today and tomorrow, the heat wave is set to come back. It's forecast 39 degrees tomorrow. So I'm going to pop into the city today, get a few bits, because I don't particularly... Oh, what's happened here? What's happened here? The wind has blown over this banana tree. It has been exceptionally windy yesterday and the day before. Looks like that is a victim of the weather, which is a shame because these bananas are nowhere near ready yet. Let me see if I can try to put it back up. Oh, that's buggered, isn't it? Ah, oh, what a shame. How strange that the very, very tall trees are still upright. Not quite. Let's go down here and enjoy this morning coffee. Try not to fall in the pond. So enjoy this moment with me without many words exchanged. Okay, that's enough, because otherwise the retention on the video is going to be so low I have to talk. In fact, let me turn off the video so I can enjoy this peace and quiet without worrying about the quality of the upload. Oi! Oi! Wait, where are we going? My moment of peace and quiet was ruined by these two bastard dogs. It might not be peace and quiet, but that moment had its own merits. Hey, you two, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Remember that you're sisters. Eh? Remember that you're sisters. Hey, Money Moo. You okay, darling? Hey? Hey, lazy girl. Hey, lazy girl. I've been doing some work on the drive, if you can see. I've been gravelling it, trying to neaten it up a little bit. It's hard to do those jobs when the heat gets above about 35 though. Very difficult. I'm sweating my ass off now, I've just been talking. Hey you two, Trouble. Not in the kitchen. Should we water the plants? Let's water these plants. It's a shock how simple life's pleasures become as you approach your mid-40s. We've got our first actual papayas, if you can see in there. Only little, but still. Anna's planted this. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a lemon tree. Who knows? Only Anna knows. I emptied the pool a couple of days ago. I'm going to clean it today. I need to buy some kind of grout cleaner or tile cleaner because it's getting a bit stained. And then I'll fill it up tomorrow, ready for this intense heat. I don't want to be stuck on the farm when it's 40 degrees and not have my plunge pool to hand. These are what we bought when we went to Pechabun. Got to be quite careful with the planning of these trees because they grow so tall and fairly quickly as well. These will be in excess of the height of the house eventually. I think we're going to put another one in here. Yeah, we are. Anna's dug a hole ready for it, look. I keep saying to Anna, why is it so hot? It feels like we're in the middle of the hot season. And then I realised, actually, we are, aren't we? We're in the middle of March. Songkran is about 3 weeks away, I think. And that's the kind of the sort of peak of the heat, isn't it? That's what the whole thing is about, you know. It gets so hot that you cool yourself down with all that water. That's the whole idea of it. Time seems to be flying this year, and I don't know why that is, because I'm doing so little. Time should be going slowly. Lost my sunglasses, which is hyper annoying. Probably these two have had them. I've got my driving glasses, but I just don't like them. It's so annoying. I'm not wearing these. Oh, shall I talk about my plans? I will, because I'm not uploading very many videos at the moment. So it's very likely that by the time I upload the video after this one, my plan will already be in action. So I'm going to head to the UK for a few months. It was always the plan to head over to the UK for at least a few weeks at some point. Now, I didn't think it would take me 3 years before I went there. That's how long it is since I moved here. 3 years I've not left the country. If anybody wonders where our grey water goes, this is the water from the washing machine we've got a load on at the moment. It just goes out across the farm. That is the grey water from one of the bathrooms. We've got 3 bathrooms, so obviously the sewage from the bathrooms, that's a different thing. That's not just distributed out across the farm. That goes in there, and those get emptied about once a year. That's the theory of it. We've emptied them once so far. The reason we had to empty them, even though we've only been here a few months, is because we had a flood, so they were full of flood water. But normally about once a year. And then yeah, the grey water just gets put out across the farm, whether it's from the kitchen, the bathrooms, the washing machine. Yeah, there are no sewage works and sewage pipes around here. There's nothing like that outside of the cities in Thailand. Nothing at all. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about sewage on my YouTube channel. It was always the plan for me to pop back to the UK way before now, way before this point. I was thinking maybe after 18 months or potentially 2 years of being here, but this house build, it just dragged on and on and on, and if I'd have known it was going to take as long as it did, I would have gone back, maybe done 2 or 3 months work at the same time and then just come back to Thailand. But the builder was always kind of just teasing us with the end date, you know. He was always just, you know, I'd sort of kick off after a while and say, look, this has been a year now. How long until it's finished? And he'd say, oh, look, we'll be done in 6 weeks. We'll be done in 6 weeks. So obviously I couldn't then go home back to the UK. It wasn't worth it. Because I was thinking, well, I need to be here for all those last finishing touches and all that sort of stuff. But then 3 or 4 months would go by and we're still nowhere near the end. Anyway, look, you know the story of that. If you don't, watch the previous videos, watch my heartache and my frustration as we tried to build this house. You know, everybody, I think 99% of people who try to build a house in Thailand go through something similar. Very, very similar emotions. The builder will promise you the earth and it very rarely follows through. But such is life, such is life. Once you accept this about Thailand and about living here and about any kind of time scale within this country, life becomes a lot easier, a lot simpler, a lot happier. You kind of live more in the moment, live for the day a little bit more. But still, you know, it's difficult as a Westerner, it's difficult. Anyway, what am I talking about? So yeah, I'm going to the UK, that's it. There's a couple of reasons that I want to go back to the UK. I need to catch up with friends and family. Like I said, it's been 3 years. It's my younger brother's 40th birthday at the end of this month. There's a bit of a celebration going on. So I want to try to catch that. What else? I could do with earning a little bit of cash, to be honest. Now, I'm in quite a lucky position with my skill set, you know. I was a chef for a long time in the UK, and at the moment chefs in the UK are paid very well, and this time of year, just as Easter is approaching, there are a lot of opportunities, and it's important that I go and find some work while I'm in the UK, because if I don't, then I will spend an absolute fortune because I will be bored. There's only so many times you can go out for a coffee with your mate, you know, and all of my friends obviously work in the UK full time, and so if I went there for, let's say, I don't know, 3 weeks, let's say, and I wasn't working, I would have to stay with either family or friends, which I would feel like I was putting on people quite a lot. And I'd just be hanging around, you know. Once I'd sort of seen people for a few hours, then that's done, that's ticked off. It's, you know, then what am I doing? Just hanging around, walking around the city, going and eating a Greg's sausage roll and going and have a Costa coffee, whatever, and then I just want to come back here again. So instead of that, what I'm going to do, I have arranged work at a small hotel in the Lake District, so absolute beautiful part of the UK, and only about an hour and a half away from where my family live and my friends live. But the important thing about that is, not only do I get paid a decent salary every week, I get accommodation and food as part of that for free, you know, it's a part of a package. So it means I don't have to rely on going and sleeping on a mate's sofa or sleeping at my parents' guest room or whatever it might be, you know. I don't want to be doing any of that. I will be staying at my place of work, so I'll have my own private room with an ensuite bathroom and whatnot, you know, and so it's ideal. So then I'll have my 2 days off every week. that I can go and then see friends and family like a normal human being. And I will commit to that for at least a couple of months, potentially 3 months. I don't know. I'd like to be back in Thailand before July, ideally. But, I mean, who knows? The money is very good, and it will be novel, and it'll be quite a treat actually to earn that decent level of income again, which I haven't done for 3.5, nearly 4 years now. So I'm not going to write anything off just yet. We'll see how it goes, because like I said, the money's very good. I'll go into all that sort of detail once I'm there. I'll sort of do a full video and show you exactly, you know, the life of a relief chef in the UK and what you can achieve, because it's very, very good. But yeah, there are a few downsides to it. One downside is I will have no transport when I'm there. I will have no car, so that wouldn't be an issue so much if I was in the city or a town centre at least, but this place is literally in the middle of nowhere. Now, you know, because of where I live, and if you've seen the pictures of our house we have in Spain as well, it's a similar location. It's literally in the middle of nowhere, and I love that. It's always my favourite kind of a place to be. I love the seclusion and the peace and quiet. I absolutely adore it. It's not to say that I don't like the hustle and bustle of city life sometimes, but I like to seek that out. I like to be able to go and find that when I want it or when I need it. I don't want to have to be faced with that every day. I'd rather be faced with peace and quiet and serenity. And if I want a little bit of city life, I'll go out and I'll do it for a day or a weekend. So this place in the Lake District, it is extremely secluded. There's not even a bus route there, so it's going to be a little bit full on. This is all land we do plan to develop with more canals, and then eventually plant a load of coconuts for a coconut farm. That is the kind of loose plan that we have. We're in no rush. There is no rush at all, you know. We're not bound by anything. There are no constraints. There's still a lot of flood damage over here. I'll show you. It's all just up against the barbed wire fence. It's part my laziness and part the kind of conditions that we have here, the weather conditions, as to why I've not sorted this out since October. Honestly, it's just because, who am I trying to kid? I have no excuse, do I? I've got no excuse. We've just gone through the winter. There's been lots of days where it's been pretty cool. Before Christmas in December, it was like 20 degrees. I could easily have done this job. Listen, I try to be honest on this channel. I try to be honest about how I'm feeling, whether things are going good or bad. I try to address all those things. I don't just try to sort of show some phony life because it's all great, because it's not. And I think people who've got any kind of sense or perspective on life will realise that. You see a lot of YouTube channels, people living a certain kind of life, something a little bit different perhaps, and it all looks like such fun, and it's, of course, you know, generally speaking, it is fun. I would always opt for this kind of life as opposed to the life we left behind in the UK. But it's not to say we don't have bad days, and it's not to say there are not plenty of bloody challenges all the time. There are, but I think it's how you face those challenges, isn't it? You know, and because we had challenges back in the UK as well, I'd rather face the challenges we have here on the farm as opposed to what I dealt with in the UK. That's for sure. Anyway, that said, I'm going back to the UK, aren't I? But it's temporary. It's just a temporary measure. And just to kind of reiterate this point, the reason I'm going back there for 2 or 3 months of work is just to kind of make it worthwhile. for me to fly to the UK and back to Thailand, it's going to cost around about £1,000. That's a lot of money. And as I said before, if I just hanging around when I'm in the UK, just socialising, doing very little, I will spend an absolute arm and a leg, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I don't want a trip back to the UK to catch up with friends and family to cost me 4,000 quid. Because if that's the case, I just wouldn't go. Bugger my family and friends, I'll just stay here. So, the balance with that is to go work for 2 months, put £10,000 in my bank that I can save up, and see family and friends. So it's like I get the best of both worlds. And the beauty of that is I don't have to deal with the kind of harsh reality of living in the UK. Things like the cost of living, you know, paying your electric bill or your water bill or your council tax. There's none of that because I'll be a temporary worker for a few months with free lodgings and free food. So I can really exploit that situation. I intend to exploit it. I intend to spend very little money. I will save 99% of what I earn. I can be a right tight bastard when I want to be. And whilst I'm still relatively young and I have the energy to go and work 3 months in a hot and sweaty commercial kitchen, I might as well do it and earn the money, because maybe in 10 years time, perhaps I'll no longer want to do that, you know? Or maybe I can't. Maybe my back will go or my legs will go and I can't do that anymore. So let's make hay whilst the sun shines. An establishment will pay more for a relief chef because it's temporary, you know? They need somebody to kind of get them out of the shit, so to speak, and that's what I do. So I earn a bit more money for doing that job, but it is hard, often stressful, always chaotic, and challenging as well, but fun, you know, but fun. I absolutely love it. I don't love every day. There are moments when I absolutely despise it, and I will vlog whilst I'm there and you'll see exactly what I mean. I'll show you good days and I will show you bad days, and let's see if it is what you think it is. Okay, sunglasses on, seatbelt on.